Welcome to the second episode of MYLIGHT. My name is Laila, and I am your host. I am here to teach you how to reach your higher self. We're broadcasting live from the Pass Media Studios out in Bloemfontein. Welcome to it. It is a beautiful Friday morning, and we're going to be having a very interesting conversation. Not very long, but very insightful and very interesting. And today, I have guests. I have a male perspective, and I have a female perspective, and I have an ELEANOR perspective. God help us. But we are here. For those of you joining us for the very first time, this podcast is about unlocking you, awakening you, and helping you reach your highest self, reaching that dream person, that person you know you're very capable of becoming. But so many people, so many naysayers, so many haters, so many elements in the world telling you that you are unworthy, you can't. Well, I'm here to reinforce that you are worthy, you are incredible, you're amazing, and you are actually capable of doing anything you set your mind to. That is what this podcast is all about. It's about you reaching your highest self, you living in your positive self, you living in your best self. And of course, the lessons and the topics and the guests that we'll be having on the show, it will basically be towards contributing that in awakening you and unlocking you and helping you reach your highest self. So in today's episode, we're going to be touching on lack of self-confidence. A lot of us, we trip, we fall, and we sabotage ourselves unknowingly a lot of the times. And one of the things that kill us is fear, anger, hurt, environment in which we were raised in, what we've seen, and so on. But one of the silent killers that we don't really give homage to, and that's why I wanted to do it in my second episode, is lack of self-confidence. Lack of self-confidence, it trickles in unexpectedly in moments you don't consider, in moments you don't even think about. You could find yourself in a situation where you are doing something you love, but then something triggers you at something, or you see an old foe from high school who used to bully you, and then one day you're in front of a stage, you're in your element, right? You're in your element, and then you see this high school bully, and then you become this small child. And you forget, like, oh, wait, I've been training, I've been doing this, like, I can do this. But my high school bully just walked in, and then you become just this. And it eats away at your confidence, and it eats away at what you have built up towards that trauma. You understand? And it's not just high school bullies. It's your home situation. It's your parents. It's your friendships. It's your siblings. Hey, your siblings can bully you. Oh my word! I used to have cousins that used to burn me 5 cents day, like on my feet. Like, it was bad. You understand? We have so many traumas and so many experiences in life that our lack of self-confidence shatters us in moments that we don't actually see or even expect or even like consider. Do you get what I mean? So on the podcast today, I've got Demi. Hi, Demi.
Hi, Laila.
It's Demi.
It's Emily. Yes.
Hi. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. DEMILEIGH, self-confidence, my darling.
You know, self-confidence to me is the way that you trust yourself and accept yourself, and I feel like that's important. You need to accept yourself the way that you are, and you need to trust yourself and, you know, believe in yourself and know that you can do anything just like everybody else.
Absolutely.
Sorry guys, I cannot hear you at all.
Okay.
At all.
So I just want to check the mic now.
All right.
Just re-ask the question we asked.
Okay.
So that's 1, 2, 3, and then
Just closer.
yeah,
Just
Okay.
a
closer to
little
the
bit
mic.
closer to it.
All right.
Maybe
Okay,
just
no
go
problem.
check again.
Okay.
But yeah, no, just rephrase.
Carry on.
Ask the question.
Okay. All right.
Where you're standing.
Perfect. Okie dokie. All right. Let's start. Okay. So basically, the show is episode 2, and today we're talking about lack of self-confidence. And we have DEMILEIGH in studio with us today. Hi, Demi.
Hi, Laila.
How are you?
I'm doing good, and how are you?
What does self-confidence mean to you?
It means like 2 things, like 2 important things, which is acceptance and trust. What I mean by that is you have to accept yourself the way that you are, and you also need to trust yourself and do whatever that you want to do. So those are the 2 important things when it comes to confidence. And yes.
Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you knew you are going to do this. But something triggered and tripped and it made you trip and fall, basically.
Yes, I have. I have. You know, that happened at the beginning of this year when I had auditions, radio auditions. So I started to doubt myself. And
Why? Let's root out why. You're in the line.
Okay.
Paint the picture for us. You're in line. You're coming to audition. You're
Yes.
confident, and then something happens. What happened?
The people that were there were showing me their videos, and they sounded like they were more confident. So I just felt like, you know what, maybe I'm not ready for this because of the way that they made me feel, basically. So that happened. And
Has this ever happened to you before? Where you find yourself in a situation and then somebody just eats away at your confidence?
yes, it has. It has, especially in high school. But now
How was high school? Tell me about high school.
Oh my word.
Don't know. This show is a therapy session, guys. I'm a therapist and I'm dissecting my patients. So let's go.
It was amazing because during those years, I also learned to just be myself and enjoy that time because, I mean, it only happens once.
Yeah.
So I went all out.
Oh.
But obviously, it was a roller coaster, basically. I had moments that were not that great. But yeah.
The point of me interrogating you and asking these questions is because I want to root out where most of your self-confidence would basically stem from and
Okay.
start from. Do you get? So what happens with most of us is that most of us in our bodies, because of all the experiences we go through life, we leave pieces of us, and those are also called the triggers. Do you get? They sit in our body and they basically make us trip and fall as we go. Do you get? So me asking those questions and delving into your life, I just want to root out. But I don't really think you do have it.
Is it?
Yes. Do you think you do?
Not really, no.
Yeah, I don't really think you have it. No, you don't.
At all.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Well done. How do you think you beat it?
You know, I
Because young girls your age, it's showing them flames.
yeah, no, that's true.
It's showing them flames. That's how I came to this topic. I got a message from a young lady, and she was asking Laila, please talk about self-confidence, lack of self-confidence and self-esteem, and how it plays a huge role in basically making me trip and fall on a lot of things, in my studies, in my relationship, in literally everything in life. Do you get? Because we are raised in environments consumed with fear. Do you understand? A majority of us come out from poor backgrounds. Some of us don't even have parents. Some are raised by grandmothers. Do you get? We have a lot of environments that a lot of us come from, and those environments are basically our triggers and our ways in which we find ourselves lack of self-confidence eating at us. Do you get? So, what would you say to a young person out there that's still fighting it, because it's a daily battle?
No, that's true.
Yeah.
I would say that you need to try and be yourself, you know, and the other thing as well, this thing of us having role models, it's okay to have a role model, but do not try to be like that person completely, because you're going to lose the person that you are.
Yeah.
So I would really advise them to just stay true to themselves as well, and try to figure out where this started, you know, because it's important to know where this is coming from so that you can know how you're going to deal with it moving forward. So that's very important as well.
Yeah, it's very important because you find yourself in a situation as a young girl. For example, let me say you're fresh out of varsity.
Yes.
You're starting your first job, right? And when you get to your first job, one of the first things you're going to leech on is your manager, your superior, whether male or female. And you're going to take and learn from this person and possibly become and take some of the habits of this person. So I would also advise young ladies, young people, young professionals such as yourself to also be very careful of that, because that's just one of the many ways in which you just mentioned, the thing that you just mentioned, where you have a role model, but you try and personify that role model. Don't do that.
Okay, yeah.
Do not do that, because that's another trap a lot of young people fall under. Do you get? And that eats away at their confidence and self-esteem in who they are supposed to be, because they emulate that person they have exposed themselves to. Yeah. Am I making sense, or my English is very crazy right now? You find a young girl that comes in and finds an older woman or an older gentleman, and this is their boss or their manager, and they basically interact with this person day in, day out, and they start taking this person's habits. The tragedy is that some of this is something that happens on a regular, guys. Like, I want to emphasize this. Be very careful as a young person when you go into new environments. Some of us, we fall into traps without even realizing. You get what I mean? When you have a role model, when you have someone you look up to, someone who has a better self-esteem or better self-confidence than you, research them. Look into them. Find out what is their weaknesses, what is their strengths. Because we have that tendency as a people, we look up to these people, but we don't actually know these people. And we see them in a certain way, and we put them on pedestals without actually researching and checking who these people are. And it's scary.
Yeah, it is.
It's so scary. Like, scary. Because if you think about it, people look up to a lot of scary people. Like, they don't look them up. Like, they look them up. And, all right. Hi, Lazzie.
Hi, Laila.
How are you?
Good, thanks to yourself.
I'm fantastic. Lazzie, what is self-confidence to you? Or lack thereof?
Lack
Lack of self-confidence.
Lack of self-confidence is not truly trusting in yourself.
Mm-hmm. Do you
Not,
trust yourself?
I actually have problems.
You trust in yourself now?
I see why I'm here.
Oh, okay. Congratulations. Welcome to the party.
That's fine. But lack of confidence is not trusting in yourself, not trying to realize who you are, what are you capable of, not investing time in yourself so that you can actually know and see how can you go further in your life without being limited by things around you, by circumstances, by anything that disturbs your way. That's lack of self-confidence for me.
What's your root cause?
For me, it started in high school.
Okay. What triggered it in high school?
I was actually a model in high school.
You were what?
A model.
A model. Cling, cling.
So
pose for the
after,
camera.
so after winning Mr. Hati,
Hey, Batu. Okay.
I started going on an emotional roller coaster whereby now I'm not truly a person for books. But then now my parents started wanting me to, like, forcing me to.
That's always a situation with all of us. I'm a university graduate. That's still debatable. But anyway, sorry, it's all up in the air.
So that was the problem. So now I started doubting myself, whether am I enough, because, I mean, they don't see me as I'm enough.
Yeah.
So I started doubting myself.
Okay.
And then I started having anger problems.
Okay.
And now friends that I had only was around me just to use me.
Yeah.
So also that added onto the stress I had. On top of that, I'm not too much of a book person. I'm too much active when it comes to handwork, creativity.
Yeah.
I'm more active there.
Yeah.
So now I had no way to work around my space, my specific space. I had to be forced into something that
You don't want to do. Yeah.
So I was the person that I'm not, actually.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
And then it led me to psychiatric hospital.
Okay.
A month.
Your breakdown. Yeah.
It was hard.
Because wow.
It was hard.
It was a movie. It was the fires. The fires were burning. Fire.
I remember even trying to escape.
Trying to escape. We're not prison break. You were not Musi. Away. Now the life of LAZZIE. Yo, prison break vibes. Please. I want a movie. Got a lot in a cinema. Get popcorn. LAZZIE. Trying to break that window. Trying to break out. Yes.
You're getting there.
We're getting there. Absolutely.
So that's pretty much of my story. And then I later on met ELEANOR.
How far are you now? How is your lack of confidence now? And how's your relationship with the people? Because I'm going to say these people that caused your breakdown. How's your relationship with that? Have you cut some of them out? Are you still communicating with some? What's the situation there?
Friends, I cut them out.
Okay.
Family, I showed them what I'm capable of.
You taught them how to treat
I
you.
actually taught them how to treat me
Good.
and how to see who I am and how to actually accommodate the person that I am.
Yeah.
Not only looking at how they used to live,
Mm.
because it's no longer like that.
Yeah. Interesting.
Friends, I cut them out, and then I started working on myself, my spiritual self. Because
Okay.
it's another thing that's
Absolutely. It's a roller coaster, eh?
and it was actually part of my depression. 'Cause, but then,
Yeah.
wow.
We are here. We are here.
But we are here.
Started from the bottom, now we're here. So, lack of self-confidence, a young man, I love your story, and your story resonates with quite a lot of what AMA 2000 are basically going through, if I can put it like that. Where I don't even think it's an AMA 2000 thing. I think it's just a family situation, environment, because I think even white people go through, even Indian people go through this, where you have to deal with family pressure. I think we all have that, where our families put pressure on us and put that certain perception or element. Demi, I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, they put the pressure on us to become what they want us to become. You get?
Yeah.
This is why I do this podcast. I'm here to stand up for that little guy that is always bogging themselves down to appease others. I'm here for that. I'm here for that little person. I'm here for that little child that hides themselves whenever the parents come in the room, or the friends or the cousins or whoever triggered them and made them feel that small. I'm here. I'm here to advocate for that little soul, that inner child that has been battered and bashed in. Do you get? And one of the things I know that eats at them is the lack of self-confidence. And the lack of self-confidence comes from everything that happens to you, literally. Everything. It is a trigger, it is a wound, and it is something that eats at you constantly. Do you get? So I love that we're having this conversation. I'm going to bring ELEANOR in as well to put in her 2 cents about lack of self-confidence. But the whole point of this is to show that a lot of you are going through what our generation went through. You are still going through it. And I think we are exhausted. And one of the things I want to do with this podcast is to break those cycles. That is another mission of this podcast. We are all trapped in these cycles. How are we, in my previous generation, the generation before, we are still in the same loop, in the same toxicity, in the same cycles. We're trapped in them. And the power of this podcast is to break some of those cycles, because it's high time that we started understanding the mind more than what we delve into, because we don't give the mind that much power. We really don't. We pay attention on everything, but we don't pay attention to what happens to us, affects us psychologically.
Yeah, definitely.
And for a very long time.
Definitely.
Look how long it takes to recover from a trauma, a physical one. Do you understand?
And now if you're not around the right circle, it can even take you more than 10 years.
Exactly. Exactly my point. Exactly. Those are little things that you don't even pay attention to. You understand? How many people right now keep saying, I'm on my healing journey, but they haven't changed anything.
Always posting.
Yeah, they haven't changed anything about their lives. Do you get what I mean? Because all that esteem, the confidence, what you are supposed to be doing for yourself, you've given it away. Yeah. You've given it to other people, and it eats at you day in, day out. That's why you self-sabotage so much. I don't know, my darling.
Hello, hi.
Hi.
You know what? I always...
Come closer to the mic, yes.
All right. I always look at how young people look outside of themselves. Like, even the way they identified confidence. It's so funny to me.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm blessed in a very weird way, because how I discovered this myself, it was one time where somebody associated me to something that somebody else was doing. So I'm a child, I have a mother who's very strong, and automatically the expectation was that I am going to be
A strong woman.
and then one day I decided, just for the purpose of seeing, let me see what will happen if I become the total opposite.
Yeah. Rebel
And
wena.
literally, it was a let me total opposite this thing. And look, the outcome was funny. Mom not happy. School not,
Not happy. Everybody.
not happy. And then there was a part of me that was like, I like this because I'm no. I went to me and I was like, everybody else's feelings,
Yeah.
hello. But there's this little one that is like,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
mission accomplished. And then from that moment, it started to be what makes you happy, right? What makes it ELEANOR and not somebody else's identity. You understand? So a lot of the times, even the systems that we're in the world
Yeah.
teach us to become a specific way.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I don't advocate against education, but I advocate against how it is done.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I advocate against how parents believe we should be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because when you're born, first of all, the only thing a doctor does is to check breathing, alive, good stuff. 10 fingers, 10 toes, body parts are all there, and then they keep you in the hospital to make sure that you're going to poop. Right? So that's the only thing that we're supposed to have in common. Because other kids will sneeze instead of cry. And the doctor will be like, oh, that's a strong sneeze. Lungs are healthy. You get what I mean? They're checking a physical context of being a human being. And then the rest of the world then tries to apply a formula that is called growth. And you'll see how parents also will show you these things in an early age.
Yes.
Where, oh, wow,
Yes.
yes, that's what that child is meant to do.
Do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Leave that child
Child to
be,
shine and do what
right?
they have to be. Yeah.
Give that opportunity for them to actually know what it is to be self and what it is to be part of society. Two different things, right? And it's funny, when I met LAZZIE, he was literally trying to be everybody's words.
Yeah.
Church, they said. Mom said. Dad said. What?
There was no LAZZIE said.
And I'm like,
No LAZZIE at all.
where are you in this image?
Yep.
Who are you in this picture, right? And he's like, Sister L, you don't understand. I'm like, okay, let me not understand for a little bit. Let me spend time with you in this
And
in this
see what
world.
happens. Yeah.
And then I say, okay, function in it then. For like 3-4 months of my first meeting him, I knew him to be habatlo ya skolo, habatlo keta, habatli. And I was like, okay, habatli. Put him in a skills program. He achieved himself. You understand? Meaning it wasn't the studies that were the problem. It is what he was studying
That's
and
why you-
how he was studying.
And it was given and he was exposed to it. That's why our parents are supposed to do that, and our schooling system.
And the anxiety that came with trying to be like everybody else
yeah.
is the one that
Take it
stopped
down,
him from
Ha!
even trying.
It's a movie.
You
Yo,
understand?
I know it very well.
And then
Yeah.
I laugh at him and I'm like, do you know the answer? He's like, no, I don't even know how to get to the answer. I'm like, okay, let's work on it. I'm going to help you. You understand? And young people, the biggest thing you need to understand is everything is in place not to change you, but to help you.
Yes. Yeah.
So self-confidence from now on, identify it as how are they, and whether it's school, parents, friends, how are they helping me become?
Absolutely.
How are they helping me become?
Yeah.
Literally, don't take it beyond becoming. Not becoming a student, not becoming a friend, how do they help me become?
Yeah.
You understand? And then the rest of it is internal. What kind of person do
I
want
to
to
be. Absolutely. And a lot of the youth, that's the sad thing about it. That's why I want to advocate for this podcast to grow so much. Is a lot of them, as much as we are saying this, how do I become? A lot of them are lost and don't know how to be, because a lot of them heavily rely on the circumstances and the people around them. Yeah. That is why I was making an example earlier of a young girl or a young person starting a new job. They are literally going to take the previous habits of forming and coming into a new environment and then just throwing themselves over to whatever succubus.
The stupidest one.
Yeah, that they can leech on, literally.
Yeah, and when you walk into a new environment, you're hyped, you're excited, you want to do all these things.
Yeah.
You want your boss to see you. You want the owner of the company to come and compliment you.
You want everything.
And then the first thing you're told is, don't do too much.
Yes. And you're like, huh?
Oh, snap, I came here for payment.
Yeah,
you
no,
understand?
It doesn't work.
No, but that's what they're told.
Yeah.
Then they have to now reflect on themselves. Okay, what is doing enough? And they observe Memamang answers the 5 phone calls and then ignores the 10. And then Tate Mamang responds to only last minute documents like this one is needed at 10. And that's what they fall into. Whereas if you had just walked in and been yourself, even if you're doing everybody else's job, you are going to be happy.
Absolutely.
And proud of yourself.
Absolutely.
And then where's the self-confidence coming from? Achieving self, not trying to be something. You understand? For somebody else.
I love that. All right, that's episode 2, shooting live from Past Media Studios right here in Bloemfontein. I will leave the information in the description box. Please hit the subscribe button. My name is Laila, and we do this every week. We're teaching you how to reach your highest self, how to live in yourself, and how to unlock that inner child that has been traumatized and has been sleeping. You know, that dream person, because we all have that dream, guys. We all know. We all have that purpose. We all know what we're here to do, but so much of our environment, so much of our community, so much of our family, so much of our jobs, so much of school limits us and tells us we are little, we are unworthy, we can't. I'm here to reinforce that you can. You absolutely can. And that's a wrap of our second episode. Leave us in your comments. What would you like us to touch on? What would you like us to delve on? And don't forget, I do go live every single day on my TikTok. Follow me live with Laila on TikTok. And of course, right here on YouTube as well as on Facebook. Just find Laila NNYANE. Is there another medium that I forgot, Lazzie? That's them. Facebook. Instagram, Laila NN. Yes. You find me also on Instagram. Yes. It's Laila NNYANE also on Instagram. So, and the website is also coming. lnmanagement.co.za. That's also coming along as well. So thank you. Second episode, lack of self-confidence. We want to hear your comments. I know we will have a part 2. Definitely we'll have a part 2 of this. As I know, a lot of people have a lot of stories and a lot of things to unlock and a lot of triggers and a lot of things they also want to actually deal with. But that's what we're here for. That's what we're basically here for. Let's root out that cause. Why do you always trip and fall? Why do you always self-sabotage yourself? Why do you always lack that self-esteem and that self-confidence? That's what we're here for. So that's a wrap of our second episode, My Light. Thank you, Timo.
That's what's up.